Hey everyone, this is Misty. Unfortunately, I couldn't make this recording, but I still wanted to drop in to remind everyone that the links to all the people in the recording's My Anime List account is in the description, as well as a link to the club if you're coming from the world of YouTube and not our club itself. So go ahead and check all that out if you want to learn more about the club or any of the people in the recording. But anyway, here you go.
Hey guys, welcome to Anime Alliance. My name is Hunter, and today we are going to be talking about historical anime. And today we have with us...
I am the villain in glasses, Kevin Hemington.
I'm Riri, also known as Sugar Riri. Hi!
I am Shuka.
And Takami.
And I'm Vestige.
And to first kick this off, I want to talk about something that I'm pretty sure everybody has seen, and that is Baccano, probably the most infamous of all historical anime, or one of the most infamous, that is, and probably one of the most popular. From the studio who brought you Durara, Baccano is one of my favorites. It's very enjoyable and can be serious, but it's pretty funny at times too. Yeah.
Okay, but what exactly is the historical value to the show?
It's set in 1940s, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or
So is it just based on the setting, or is there anything else?
The setting, because it's talking about the mob, and right now.
Isn't it based?
I know it's talking
Mob
about the mob, but I mean, like the mob, like generally
Mob in
speaking,
the
the mob
1930s.
families aren't really that important to the actual show. That's the problem.
Isn't it based in
It's
England
between,
or
like-
something?
Yeah, it's set in, isn't it? It's England, right?
No, it's not England.
Or
Not England.
It's,
What-
it's somewhere not in
was it
Japan.
Chicago?
It's Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago,
Chicago.
sorry, not England, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just more the setting is set in the 1900s, or late, mid
I think it's,
1900s, so that's why it was
1930s.
Yeah.
1930s,
There
yeah.
you go.
And that's probably why it's actually under the historical genre, whether or not be really a historical anime with any historical figures in it.
Well, it also has flashbacks to, I think it was like the 1800 somethings.
Yeah, because they were talking about the Curial elixir, that it was, the immortality elixir. Because they were all alchemists and everything.
Mhm.
Which they really wish they focused more on, because that was probably the most interesting part of the show. And they
It
really
was.
didn't focus on that. They mostly just focused on trying to explain why all these random people are on a train together.
The
It's
flying.
still enjoyable nonetheless. This flying pussyfoot, that is still my favorite train name I've ever heard. I love this. These characters are wide though, especially in the sequel, like the OVA. Was it a couple episode OVA that they had after it?
Yeah, the
I don't think I
OVAs
watched
are
the
pretty.
OVAs.
The OVAs
Yeah,
are
well,
pretty interesting.
Well, because I had to write a review on it and watch it for the monthly, for the month as my exchange. So I had to make sure that the entry was based on the first 13 episodes and not go into 14 and 16.
While we're talking about that, Kevin, do you want to explain to us what the monthly exchange is and how we do that, just so audiences
Yeah,
know?
well, every month we have a vote that we do on which genre that we are going to pick to watch for the month. The genre, of course, this month was the historical anime. And then there is a newsletter, and in that newsletter is a link to the sign-up sheet. And then we all sign up, and then it's randomly generated on who you will get as a partner. And then we post exchange in the exchange thread, and we can either just watch all the shows or you have a chance to review the show. And usually I tend to review one of the shows per month when I sign up.
And I'm probably sure, I'm almost sure that Baccano is probably one of the most viewed or most recommended shows during this
Yeah, I
month.
mean, it was also the used as the banner for
Oh, that is
for the
right.
historical month. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a little autistic, just a little bit.
It's okay.
Now, Kevin, what is your favorite, I guess, historical anime? I would
My
ask you.
favorite historical anime probably would be Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. And essentially that is my favorite because I feel like it's like kind of the same thing with Baccano, where it's set in the setting, but it's more respectable to what it's actually supposed to do, and that's the art of Rakugo. I don't really think Baccano, really in respects to the mob or the setting that it's in, really focuses really on the mob itself. It just kind of focused more on this haunted train,
Right.
where the Rakugo focuses on the Otter Rakugo and kind of like the backdoor dealing sometimes that happens and like the entire culture of the time. Does anyone else have anything to say about Rakugo?
But it also tells a really great love story. And I think drama was really well made there as well. Anyone else seen it?
I think it might have been Capture You two who have only seen it. That's fine. I mean, it's probably going on my plan to watch since I'm just adding everything I
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
learn in here.
Well, the second season is airing in the winter, so if you want to watch it next month, it'll be the perfect time for it.
What was your rating on it, you two?
My rating was a 9 out of 10.
It was 9 for me.
I still haven't completed it, but I gave it a 9 so far.
Now, there's been a lot of historical anime coming out in the past previous seasons. 91 Days, Joker Game, Drifters, if you want to consider Drifters historical, I guess.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's historical.
Well, Drifters would be considered historical because they actually put historical facts into
Yeah.
the characters of the show because they're actually real historical
The
characters.
characters are definitely historical figures because, yeah.
I think my favorite out of all of them was 91 Days because I really like mob settings, and 91 Days had a mob setting, and it was about the mob.
Yeah, it was actually about the mob.
And
It was actually about 3 different families and showing the tensions between all of them. You know, there's like the families that they showed in Bakano just, you know, really doesn't even, you know, compare to the families that they had in 91 Days.
indeed,
Who
So for
was your
someone that
favorite
hasn't
character?
Favorite character?
Wait, what?
Yeah, go on. Go on,
go to
Vestige.
Siege.
For someone that hasn't watched 91 Days, why would I watch it? Like what are its
It's-
best features?
Its focus is about the mob and the relations between the mob family and how much like the mob families actually value their like family and their members of their mob, I guess you would say.
Alright.
And
It's also during Prohibition, so you see a bunch, you know.
It's a revenge story. So,
yeah,
like, I don't know if you're interested in that, but
I mean,
yeah.
it shows true faction warfare.
Mm.
It's basically what it is in 91 Days.
Alright,
a
alright.
lot of solid drama too. Like it was pretty depressing the way it started, the introduction to the main protagonist and
Yeah.
how he got caught up in the mob. And I didn't expect the plot twist and like that happened in episode 2 or 3 where he, ends up doing something a bit crazy to the mob that he is working for or whatever,
It's just unfortunately the last episode was just horrendous.
Was it
Yeah,
that
I
bad?
couldn't deal with that, honestly.
To be honest, I
But
think it can be interpreted in different ways.
honestly, a lot of finales in summer were pretty bad. So,
I felt like
Yeah, they.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I felt like the ending of 91 Days, I'll try not to spoil it, but I kind of felt like you could interpret it in different ways. So I wasn't really that down about it. So it just depends on your, how you saw it.
Because it also depends on your taste too.
hmm
Well, it was an open.
Well, I mean, the
meeting.
pace. It was the pacing that was the biggest problem with the last episode.
Do you think they could have split it up into more than 12 episodes? Maybe like a 24 episode series?
uh,
I feel like that. I think that could have been better, considering that I really liked the characters that were in it, and each,
I think that might have been too
mobs.
much if they did 24.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is because I would have probably enjoyed getting attached to the characters that he was trying to get revenge on,
What
and
if
it would have added a bit more drama to it.
I think it would have been, well, because I'm trying to see how they could fit like the story in 24 episodes. I think they probably would have made us get more closer to the characters if it was that many episodes. Because even though it was like a short series, I felt like it wasn't too fast, in my opinion.
Again, I honestly love 12 episode series, and sometimes I wish series had more than 12 episodes, but 12 episodes are pretty easy to watch, you don't feel like you're getting consumed all into one anime too much, unless you like doing that, like I do sometimes.
Yeah.
But for a 12 episode series, I don't think it was that bad. It has a pretty good rating on my anime list. It has a 7.93 right now. That was gonna do a bit worse actually, because the historical anime before that, Joker Game, didn't get too high of a rating either.
About Joker Game, I really had big expectations for it because, like, it had a pretty good premiere. But, like, by episode 3 or 4, it kind of just dropped because they started going into, like, focusing on, like, certain characters at one point, and some of it, like, kind of was bad or rushed.
And a reason I want to really watch Joker Game actually is because it's set World War II is right around the corner, and I really like that era between World War One and World War Two.
There.
And I guess not era, but like timeline between World War One and World War Two. That's my favorite part of history.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it was appealing to me.
It's just too episodic for me.
Yeah, it got very
Yeah.
episodic.
I felt like as you got further into it, it got kind of just like stories just being there to fill the plot. That's kind of how I felt it was like.
I actually dropped Joker Game. I didn't like it past episode 4.
Yeah, I dropped it too.
I just never
I think I
continued.
dropped on, like, episode
It's not on
6.
my drop list, so...
I think I went into it with too many expectations on what it could have been, and then it just didn't achieve it.
I came into it blind. I didn't have any expectations for it, and I still ended up dropping it.
I wanted to point out a little joke here. Is that 91 Days is studio that did it? You know, was
Yep.
Shuka.
Please.
Shuka.
Yep, Studio Shuka. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another
Made
chat
a-
I'm in today. We
You
need
made it. You
Studio
made a pretty.
Shuka, so.
You made a all right anime, Shuka.
Please.
Not bad. For
No,
your
my
first.
best anime is Durara. Or, like, Natsume. Come on now.
Now another topic of historical anime I want to talk about is what defines a historical anime. Is it more important about the setting? Does that count as being historical if it's set in like old London or World War II era or 1800s? Does that count as being historical anime, or
I would
should it count as a historical anime if it has historical figures?
I think
In it.
both. Like, honestly.
Well, one anime that's kind of been, I guess I've been back and forth about, is Gintama, because it has characters that are in historical stories, but the show is so over the place with the locations that sometimes I don't really consider it as a historical. So I guess shows
I've
like
always
that I kind of have a hard time categorizing.
I think it's more to the respect of the culture than it is to either of those points. That's what I really would consider what should be a historical show. Now, what my anime list, of course, does is just it is based on setting, but I think it should be more based on
It's
culture.
also
I
that
agree.
atmosphere and with the, like, samurai and everything. So...
Like, one thing I wanted to say is that freaking Spice and Wolf is considered a historical anime, and that's just purely just a historical setting, isn't it? Right? If I'm not mistaken. I watched the first season. It's just a historical setting, not really any historical figures. Just
I'm trying to
Just the setting
remember.
is
It was a long time since I last watched it. What do you
I
got,
haven't
Shush?
seen it, and is it historical? So heavily historical? Isn't it like fantasy or something?
yeah, it's like a fantasy more than anything, and it's kind of why I kind of get confused sometimes with historical, because some historical anime is also fantasy, like Drifters is considered historical, but I think that's only because it has a lot of historical figures in it.
Yes.
But that's
No,
more
but they also respect the culture of the character.
And they have a lot
That's
of
true.
references to the like actual history of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about it all the time. Wars and some other stuff.
It's set in a fantasy world, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in
I
like
believe
this.
so.
Yeah, it's in the fantasy world. There's like elves and there's like goblins and there's what have you.
Do you guys like Drifters so far?
I'm enjoying it.
I hate the comedy.
Yeah, the comedy's kind of like
I hate
misplaced.
the facial expressions,
Yeah.
but when there's actual action, when there's actual history, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just the comedy's just
I
horrendous.
honestly
I
think
mean-
it's on the better side this season, but that's not saying much when I gave pretty much a lot of things like a 5 or a 6. So
And yeah, there's been like maybe I feel like 1 or 2 historical anime for the past couple seasons that have really been okay, and that was 91 Days and Joker Game. If I'm not mistaken, those were the 2 most popular, if the only historical anime.
I don't think there were any others.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one this season, but it's like a short. So
Now, a lot of you have seen I can't say it.
Mushishi.
Mushishi.
I'm American. Help me, God. Jeez, okay, Mushishi. There you go. You guys can.
well, if I can say it, you can probably say it.
Now, that's one of the most. That is probably the highest rated
Yeah,
historical
it's
anime.
Definitely, probably the favorite of the community.
Now, I'm assuming all of you have seen that, or most of you. That is, I haven't seen it.
I've
Some
seen a
I've
few
watched, but-
episodes. I still haven't like completed.
I saw about 17 episodes and then dropped it.
I've
I
seen
really
most.
liked it, so
I never started it, but I have it on my plan to watch.
How about you, Toka? I'm assuming you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes and a couple of overs as well. And it's pretty great, even though I can't really call it historical, I guess, because they never really reference actual
Yeah.
history.
I honestly wouldn't call it historical either. It's more like fantasy, supernatural, sci-fi type of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely its own entity.
Yeah,
Why is it under the historical tag then? If
I wonder.
like-
I have no idea actually.
It could just be based. Honestly, could be based on culture actually, because of all the spirits and all the nature that the Japanese
Well,
respect.
Yeah, the thing is, characters there also, well, some of them wear a really old traditional outfits. It's like some Edo period or something, or Sengoku era. So maybe that's also why.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So, is it worth watching, Toka? I guess that's the real question. Is it
It's
worth watching?
definitely-
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's worth watching if you can handle episodic shows,
I really love it.
because there is really no consistent story to it. It's just one different spirit, then the next episode is a different spirit, and then it's a different spirit. It's all like little short
I
stories.
feel like it's the deal
Bring it
with
up.
Natsume because that one's also has like different sort of stories to it. So
Okay, don't watch Not Today. Got it.
no, shut up.
I'm gonna go off topic though. Like, episodic shows like Darker Than Black and stuff like that just irritates me. So I may stay away from it.
Well,
Actually,
it's not
I
that type.
like
of,
an overarching story.
Like I mean, all different stories like tie in together, but
They don't tie in together. I mean, once in a while you have another character show up that was in like an episode 5 minutes ago. Like there's this guy with glasses that showed up in a couple episodes, but that's about it.
well, you haven't even completed it, so
Ooh.
I listen. It was on my hold list for a year. I eventually had to at least finish it or gave up on it, and I gave up on it.
He chose the pussy way out. I'm joking.
I only have so much time to allocate, my friend.
I'm joking.
I remember watching this anime
Now,
from it's a
Go
bit
to
of an older
stage.
one, 2012, but it's called The Ambition of Oda Nobunaga, and it's kind of a mix between really historical Japan and someone from the future who knows about the history that happened, and he goes back
oh,
to that
this
time period, and he sort of applies
Yes,
the
I know
knowledge
what
of
you're-
knowing already what happens to advance himself in that time period. I think it was quite good.
Now,
I mean, I like the show because it's basically a harem.
Oh, yeah,
and you have
it
a bunch
was
of
also a
harem with like
harem.
historical characters, but I mean, the pacing of the show kind of was a little iffy on me, and that's kind of why I still only kept it as a 6 out of 10. I mean, I like the show. I wish it got a second season, but of course it's Madhouse, and Madhouse barely makes second seasons.
Barely now. We used to say they don't, but they're making a One Punch Man season 2.
I mean, if they didn't make a One Punch Man one, I mean that's
just a loss for
that's a
money.
one punch
Well,
in
they
itself,
are making
right?
a bunch of.
The Madhouse is respectable.
They are making a bunch of
Movies now.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, like the No Game No Life and stuff.
Yeah, there's
movies,
No
who
Game No Life
cares?
and Overlord both have.
It's just
It's not a season 2. Who cares?
These.
let's put it this way: they used to not make sequels. Now they only make shows that make them money. There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair,
Sequels that make them
No
money.
Game No Life would make the money.
Okay, the mansion of Oda Nuba would make money.
They're only
That's
That you
There's
butchered
a
the
couple
name.
years late on No Game No Life. Only a couple years late. Only a couple.
yeah, that would make them money too. So it's like there's a lot of shows that if Madhouse made season 2s that would make money. I mean, they just want to turn and burn, turn and burn, turn and burn. They don't want to make franchises and grow popularity of shows. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of anime studios do.
They are just they are the studio that trolls. It's like we give you like a godlike story, and then it's like let's not continue this godlike story. You can go read the original source.
Let me see something.
It
Which
annoys
is-
me.
Which
when
is something in
studios do that.
anime that I have multitude of issues with, that black and white pictures are more important than things with sound and movement and voice and stuff.
Anime can describe. I love manga and anime, and I think both are good, and some are better than other. But I think if a really good manga gets a really good adaptation, I think the anime is probably going to be better than the manga at some point, because you'll be able to visualize it a little bit better than you could in the manga, because you have sound, you have the voices.
I agree.
That's I'm saying if they have a perfect adaptation of something that is a really good anime.
hmm Now, I guess one that I wanted to bring up. Okay, well, I guess I'll bring up Mononoke first, which is not to be confused with Princess Mononoke.
I know what you're talking about.
It's not really a show that's for everyone because of the animation style. And when I first started, I wasn't really into it that much. But as the story went on, it became super interesting because they would slip in little historical tales from old Japan, very old stories.
I'm looking at everything that all my friends have rated it, and Toka, you gave it a 10.
Yeah, it's my
Mononoke
favorite.
So-
is one of the shows that most critics that will absolutely love. So,
Except for Hacks.
no, please. Yeah.
So why do you like Mononoke so much, Toka? It's on your favorites, I can see too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, it has a really unique art style and animation,
Yeah.
and secondly, it also has Sakurai, and he did a perfect job as a main character in
I
there,
mean, Taki or Saka?
Suriuri. And also, well, I just love the stories. It was also episodic, by the way. They had arcs with 2-3 episodes for one tale. So yeah, it was just fucking awesome.
It has a horror tag too. Now, is it like a psychological horror?
Uh,
I'm assuming.
I
Kind
guess.
of,
Yeah.
because there's points in it where it's not a jump scare horror or anything, but I think especially in the first arc, it's probably more psychological horror than the other two, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just has this really
Okay.
intense atmosphere about it.
It has an amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's made by Toei Studios, so they're bound to get something right.
Toei can actually
Eventually.
make older stuff and movies in general.
Yeah.
But they can't do freaking One Piece or World Trigger right, so.
Oh yeah, at least this looks like they made this one decent. But no, okay. They did the Planet Moo too. So two people I'm gonna be talking this towards, actually three, well maybe four, maybe just all of you. So, why do you guys like historical anime so much? Kevin, Ryrie, Shuka, and Tokumi. Because me and Vestige haven't seen much, and we don't go out of way to watch it. But why do you guys go out of your way to
Honestly,
watch it?
I don't go out of my way to watch it. Just it seems that a lot of my favorites have ended up being historical for some apparent reason. I do like older time settings a lot. I think they're pretty interesting, and I like the type of atmospheres they set.
Well, the thing is, I'm actually studying Japanese history and also Chinese history and some Western countries' history. So I usually watch it as a reference and just because I love history. So that's why I try to go out of my way to find more historical anime that I would love. Not only about Japan, but also other countries as well.
Well, my favorite subject in high school was indeed history. So, and I keep trying to watch these history shows because I want to find those shows that actually have historical value to it, actually has references to the characters, and not just it's determined that it's historical based on setting. So that's kind of why I still watch historical anime.
The reason why I really like historical anime is because I've been watching anime for quite a long time, and I think after a while you kind of get tired of seeing, the same harems, the same school animes, so you try to find stuff that's different. So usually most of the time when I come across a historical anime, it's got something different than a typical anime would. For example, in this case with Mononoke, it has, in my opinion, a more constructed story, and then say maybe a popular show that's airing that's like a high school anime. And a lot of the time, a lot of shows will start okay in the beginning and they might fall off at the end. And I think because I've watched so much that I'm overly critical of those shows.
I gotcha. So it seems that most of you watch it for either reference and to learn more about Japanese culture, which I think is pretty neat because you can learn a lot of Japanese culture just from the history of it. And a lot of times people go out of their way to look up and actually read about their Japanese history. Just get the full-fledged weeb out.
Honestly, my favorite type of historical is the ones that are based off of swords or just samurai in general. As you can see, my favorite anime is actually historical, which is Gintama. So then I'm bringing up Katana Gadre when I'm
Wait, did you both say Katana?
Did we?
Did you both say Katana Gatari?
No, I said.
What did you say, Ryrie?
I said there's an anime airing right now that's I don't know if you consider it historical, but there's a lot of references to the Shinsengumi and stuff.
We're talking about
it's called Token Rambu Haramaru.
Oh no, that is historical.
Yeah, it has a few references to that, but it's not really historical, so I felt I would bring it up.
I mean, there were once swords, so maybe,
yeah.
And they were all in the past. It might be, but I don't know.
It's got fantasy elements, so you could say it's both, but since it's so new that it's kind of hard to label it as either one.
It doesn't look like it's getting too well accepted though, as an anime. It has kind of a low rating.
It's a lot of fan service.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much
for
the
girls.
prequel to the actual series, so.
Yeah, let's just make all the men either super hot or super cute. It looks like.
Yeah.
I think these are
Yeah.
guys.
It's based on a game for girls.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
okay,
a
let's.
Can Nicole.
Well, there's a different one coming out in I don't know, but by Ufotable, so.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Hopefully that one will be more serious.
Yeah.
when we're talking about freaking samurais and whatnot, let's bring up Katana Gatari.
Well, they aren't samurai,
is-
but they're collecting swords, so...
Well, swords, yeah.
Please, no. It's not the same thing.
Close enough.
No.
Tomato, tomato. Tomato,
Oh
tomato.
my lord.
Okay, Katana Gatari. A lot of people have seen it.
Uh,
I've seen one episode.
Katana Gatari
Because-
is like my 4th or 5th favorite anime.
I got spoiled the ending on it, so that's why I'm
Oh
kind of holding
my.
out to watch it a little bit, and I'm kind of upset I got spoiled it because I know it's like really important.
I absolutely adore the anime, and I adore the author, Nisio Isin, with his dialogue, so...
What are your guys' favorite time periods for history? Because obviously you've got very classical Japan, way back, and then you've got more recent, a bit like Bakuno. So, what would you like to see in a historical anime?
Sengoku
More
era.
gangsters, more mobs.
I like the really, really old Edo Japan, like the very old stories. And that kind of reminds me of, let me get it up, Yutakoi, which is kind of this romance story that goes around like old Japanese poets. And, you know, I really liked it, even though it had like multiple couples in it. It really focused on the historical poets and their stories.
Yeah, it was based on a book with love poems from
Mhm.
feudal Japan, from like Edo period, I think, or something.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked it. Also, it had a really unique art style, by the way, as well.
Oh yeah, it was pretty nice.
How old it is? I cannot. I'm not gonna try to even pronounce the name.
I think it's not really old. It's like maybe two years or something.
What anime?
Utakoi.
So,
It's
it
like
sounds familiar.
it's
It
does
pretty
sound
new.
familiar.
It's like maybe 3 years. I don't know, but yeah, it's
It's-
really new.
It was made back in 2012, so it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm.
and talking about historical and one of the most popular historical anime or historical setting, and probably one of the most favorited anime, especially in the Western culture, is Samurai Champloo, which even people who don't watch anime have watched.
I haven't.
It's a well favorite out of a lot, from
See,
a lot
it's
of
like
people.
I remember that I liked the show, but it's been like 8-9 years since I watched it.
Yeah.
I just don't really remember it as much as I would want to talk about it.
You know what it is? It's the One Punch Man of 2005. The reason I say
That's
that is
No, I wanna-
because, like you
That-
said, everybody.
Then I might not like it anymore if that's the case. If it's the One Punch Man of 2005.
Not in terms of story or anything, just the way that everybody's seen it.
It has it's top 60 in the popularity
Okay,
scale.
because I thought you were like referencing like he just kills everyone in one shot of his
One slash
sword or
man.
something.
One slash.
Yeah, one slash man. I thought that's
One
what you're talking
slash
like.
man.
Was it one slash man? I don't remember it like that.
I'm sorry.
Any of you now? I know Vestige has seen it. Toka, have you seen it? What was your opinion on it, Toka?
Well, I remember a really great OST for it, and also I think it had a
Oh.
pretty cool character development as well.
Oh, you said
And-
OST, right?
Yeah, and
Original soundtrack? Yeah.
also the chemistry between the characters, it was just amazing.
Yes!
I loved them all, especially Mugen, and I think his name was Jin, the second main character.
Jin, yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not enjoy his character design all that much, but you know, I can deal with it. I wanted to point out that just because I watched dub and stuff, but the main dub voice actor is the guy who does Spike Spiegel from, as everybody know, Cowboy Bebop. So I don't know if you guys watch Cowboy Bebop dub, but it's one of the best dubs probably in existence right now. And it was the guy who did Mugen. Is it Mugen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mugen?
I've heard
Okay.
very good things about that dub, actually.
Yeah, both the dubs are pretty good. I watched both of them dub. So
Wait, what do you mean both
And-
dubs?
I both like Cowboy Bebop and I watched Samurai Champloo
Oh, yeah.
dub.
What was that movie? That movie that's really similar to Samurai Champloo.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about because I had it up actually recently. I was looking at it because I was on some YouTubes and someone reviewed it, and I was like, "This looks interesting."
Oh
to
wait.
watch.
Oh, is it called Stranger?
Oh, Sword of the Stranger.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Stranger.
That one was good. I like that one.
Yeah, Sword of the Stranger. Yeah, this one. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it was that popular. Well, like, it has a solid number of members who watched it, and it seems that some of you have watched it.
I think I learned of this from Digibro. It was quite amazing. The animation
Yes, it was Digibro.
mixed with
yeah.
the story, sort of. The ending scene was also really good.
I was listening to the OST and it was actually pretty good. From what the OST was pretty good. I haven't seen it, but I do listen to OSTs that I haven't heard of or openings that I don't haven't seen.
I'd say
That's
it
what I
has
mean.
one of the best animated sword fights in most of anime.
Wasn't that the end fight, right?
Yeah.
Was that sword fight?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
What studio did it?
it was
Bones.
the studio that did it was Bones.
Oh, I love Bones. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the best.
Yeah, Bones is definitely my favorite studio. Well, there is another anime I want to bring up, if I can.
Now, Go Sick.
Oh, come on.
Go
Sick.
That's not where I was going, but
No comment.
whatever.
Just go with the flow. Go Sick. I
Yeah,
guess.
Go
It's-
Sick. I'm in the middle of watching it. I'm like maybe 6 episodes through. But
Mhm.
it's just like a bunch of mysteries that are kind of like episodic, sort of, like with different arcs. Well, it's not like really episodic, but you know what I mean, like when there's like a different mystery every like 2 or 3 episodes.
And it's a romance, so
Yeah, it is.
Is it well done romance, or is it just kind of?
I think it's kind of like lacking a little, honestly.
I mean, in my opinion, I felt like Go Sick was trying to do too much. Like, they were
Yeah,
trying to have a romance, an adventure, a mystery.
It's all at
Yeah.
the same time, and it's like, no.
That was too much.
Back to Bakuno and the way that the studio structured, or the writer structured the character development. I like how they all try to connect the story, so you have to guess at what's going to happen by connecting the dots. With
Was
That is
Bakuno
right.
Breezers?
Yeah.
It was kind of the probably most funny, even if Bakuno skips episodes, like it'll go like back and forth between like 3 different episodes in the
Yeah, it was hard to
timeline. It'll
follow.
just switch randomly. It was hard to follow.
No,
but
it's
that was
3 different years. It's like 1990, not 1930,
like
1931, 1932. I think those are the 3 years that it covers, and it just keeps jumping between the
I think
stuff,
it had 29.
which
as
is
well.
kind of annoying to me because when you're trying to like do a mystery show, and you see that characters are still alive in 1932, then you know they're not gonna die in this instance. So
That's true.
there's not really much mystery to it. I mean,
Well-
they're kind of telling you stuff already. It's like
Maybe not to the
it's
characters.
like I know all these
but
people are alive in 1932, so I know you're not gonna die. In 1931. So okay, how do you still live?
Either way, I thought it was pretty fun because once you finish the anime, everything all the pieces were just floating around at one point, and then as soon as you finish the anime, everything kind of got connected. And it had really good closure and a good closing.
I think it had terrible closure actually.
Ovia.
Both.
Okay,
Why-
closure
okay.
in respect to the 16th episode, or closure in respect to the 13th episode?
16.
Okay, because I can't comment on that because I haven't watched the 3 OVA episodes.
Now, I want to say the OVAs were probably one of the probably very enjoyable because they brought in I don't know if I guess he was a bad guy, antagonist. I don't know, the guy with the crowbar. I can't think of his name, but he's like a fan favorite to everybody.
The guy with the
Bakuno.
crowbar.
Okay, I don't know if any of you have seen Bakuno's OVA.
No, the
Hope you
crowbar.
have.
I don't remember
I
that.
loved the OVAs.
I love
think
Xeno.
It was
though. Xeno was cool as hell. Or Vino, I think it might have
Oh
been.
yeah.
It was let me pull up the guy's name. Let me just blab on as I can It was Graham. No, it was not him. Was it?
Are you
No,
talking about
it's
the
not
guy
him.
in the white
It's-
suit?
It's I can't think of his name. What's the guy? Some guy had a crowbar. I didn't know he like was one of the main, I guess, antagonists in the anime. Irritated. with
This
it. Oh, no,
crowbar
it was,
is
no,
not
not a crowbar.
really.
It wasn't a crowbar. It was a wrench. It was a wrench.
Wow.
Not a crowbar.
Nice.
It was a wrench. It was Spectre.
A way to get
Spectre.
things mixed up.
Graham Spectre. Do you guys not remember Graham Spectre?
Nope.
He was like, in the very last. He was in all 3 of the episodes, and he was fighting in the last episode. It was okay. Never mind. You guys are all stupid. Okay.
What do you
all-
mean? Says the one
We're
that
all
was mixing up
stupid.
names.
Come on now.
Okay, was he one of the original Immortals?
No, he's mortal.
Yeah, he's mortal. He's
But
kinda-
one of the
he runs-
original, like first generation immortal or second
He's
generation?
not immortal. He's mortal.
He's
Oh, mortal.
yeah.
Okay.
He runs like his own band of thugs, and he's just a very he's comedic relief, but like hilarious.
Yeah, he's one of
pro-
Lad Russo's groupies, I think.
Yeah, he's very funny though. He definitely makes the OVA really good. And what I was gonna say, I was talking. We skipped back and forth. Oh, what was that you wanted to talk about, Shuka?
Rainbow.
That. Oh,
Rainbow,
Rainbow. Yes. Rainbow.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's
So
like
this
on my top 10, so how would I not bring
my
it
God.
up?
That's like one of my
I wanted to-
favorites. Oh my god.
I wanted to say something before you two girls, just go at it. That was hard to
Nice.
stomach. That was a hard anime to
Yeah,
stomach through.
I agree.
Oh,
It was
Rainbow?
ve-
Yeah, like
Yeah, it
halfway,
was-
the halfway point. So,
It's-
I thought I wouldn't like it after that, honestly. But, like, seeing the development with every, like, single character, they kind of, like, have their own little arcs and stuff. I really changed my mind on that because you see them grow as together after what happened.
I mean, it's one of those animes that just really, like, you get super invested in. Like, I was, like
Honestly,
at the beginning, I wasn't sure because it came off as really strong for me. But after, like, watching the first 3 episodes, I was so into it. Like, I just loved it so much.
just
and
like
then-
binge acting like crazy.
And then towards the middle, like you said, I did kind of, like, fall back a little, but I continued it, and I would say the ending wasn't bad, but it left me feeling satisfied, so it wasn't bad.
Honestly, I didn't think I'd really like an anime about people being in prison or whatever, if you know
say?
it.
What, you've never seen Prison School?
Oh.
Come on.
I've,
Oh,
se- I've seen
that's
Prison
horrendous.
School.
joking.
Stop.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
joking.
oh,
I'm
don't
joking.
bring up prison.
I've
school,
watched-
I haven't even-
please.
I watched
I haven't
every
seen
anime
it.
in
I haven't seen it.
2015. Of course, I've seen that freaking anime. So,
Tippington's favorite anime, guys.
oh my god. But yeah,
His
Oh,
favorite,
there's more.
As-
There's definitely. I mean, I watched one episode of
Oh,
that.
as-
his favorite eye candy.
The best.
as for
episode of
Rainbow,
episode.
but can I like?
Best
I couldn't even.
episode of
Wait,
his life.
actually, no. I couldn't even finish the first episode
Guys,
of freaking
please.
Prison School. I had to I just said, get this away from me. Go away. Like,
Guys.
throw this in the trash.
No, that was my
Throw it in
number
an
4 of
incinerator.
summer 2015. Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
And then you can feed the ashes to the people that are actually in the prison. Actually, that would work. That would work. That's a good torture.
terrible.
Well, but as for
crazy.
Rainbow, I heard the anime went original a little because the manga's still continuing. Because with that last part, it was kind of a satisfying ending.
Mm,
So
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
just an overall difficult. Like
Oh, no,
honestly,
it was
at one
pretty
point.
good. Yeah.
At one point, it made my stomach sick, kind of watching it because I really don't like the whole. I
Well,
guess
it's
I'll try not to
supposed
spoil
to
it,
be
but I don't like
thriller,
the one of the
psychological or whatever.
I don't like one of the first arcs where he goes back to try to save his sister, and then
Well,
the
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I
you know,
think
uh,
it was kind of necessary for the whole anime?
I think it was necessary. No, I do not think it was unnecessary. I just think it was just made me a little grossed out, a little, give me sick in the stomach.
I
But again,
think-
I'm
yeah.
desensitized to a lot of stuff lately after reading Berserk, after reading Gantz, after reading a lot of this stuff. I'm completely desensitized to it by now.
Not even
I
my
mean-
I
chance
still have
daily
my-
life. Get out of here, Hunter.
Yeah, it definitely was. It's definitely a darker historical.
It's supposed to be about that kind of stuff for the prison guards and stuff for like beating them up. So
Does anyone have any anime in particular that they would like to talk
Well,
about?
I would like to ask Vestige a question.
Ooh.
Have you watched Nobunaga Concerto?
I don't know.
it's the 2014, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
2014.
It's the 2014 one that had the freaking ending theme by
I
My First
have
Story.
not.
Because if you like Oda Nobuna, most likely you'll like Nobunaga Concerto because it's basically the same thing where you have someone from normal time go back into the past and act at, but this time he's actually acting as Oda Nobunaga. Which I might as well just say at this point that anything with Oda Nobunaga probably will make me,
Moist?
ejaculate in my trousers.
Ooh. I do have something I want to talk about. Though.
I actually share the same birthday as Oda Nobunaga, so it's like
Wait, really?
he's a special guy in my heart.
What is that?
Oh boy.
So what were you saying, Vestige?
Let's talk about Gintama. We haven't really talked about Gintama.
Oh boy, there we go.
Gintama.
I think the main thing
I'm all
about
over this
Gintama
now.
is
Well,
that
no. Oh, go ahead.
the history and the future complements itself really well.
It
Because
does
you look
have
into it
features.
and it's sort of in the past, but then you can look to another part of the world, and then there's a spaceship flying over your head.
And you
I
have
think it's so
aliens
different that
all
it
over the
works
city,
incredibly
so
well.
or whatever they're called, or I
Monto.
forget. Yeah, Monto. They're pretty much aliens. Forget it. Like, I mean, they came in
Hey,
through
history.
spaceships.
Aliens have history too, Sugar.
Please. God.
And what about the Yato?
My favorite thing about Gintama is definitely about the samurai parts and like the serious stuff, but I like how it mixes well with the comedy.
It does.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, like, the characters are super likable. That's what I like about Gintama.
Yeah, I started really liking Gintama, like when they brought in Vinny Zakura and all that type of stuff. So.
Mhm. That was a great arc.
So let's talk about
I-
Shuka's favorite character,
No!
Kamui.
Please. Go away. He's Festo. Like, I mean, he seriously had that fight with Okita, which, like, I seriously love.
No,
The fan art for that. It's like,
I feel like you
My
just
life.
tickled Shuka.
I did.
I'm
oh
triggered.
my god, the fan art.
Ooh.
In a verbal way, you just triggered Shuka. I don't know how, but you just triggered her. Where she
Well,
like,
if Misty was here, she could be getting tickled by the minute.
she should be like, tight voice as high as can be. She'll be breaking glass at that point,
Oh,
So Toka,
and she'll be doing the oh ho 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 voice.
no, I'm not doing that.
I love
No one could push the buttons of Shuka more than
More
Misty.
than Misty.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Misty, you were saying something?
oh yeah. So Toka, what's your favorite part about Gintama?
My favorite part about it is probably Shinsengumi, because I am a huge fan of them, as in like real Shinsengumi.
you mean like Okita and like Kitsugaya and yeah. Everyone loves like Okita in general.
yes.
Yes.
She's so relatable.
Really?
Shinsengumi Crisis was also like a great arc in general. I like how freaking Hitsugaya had to struggle, so
My god. The fan art. That's
there's so
Yeah,
much
they just-
Gintama fan art, it's ridiculous.
Riri is really caught up on the fan art.
yeah. I know all about that.
The Kamui fan art.
Are you trying to trigger me?
A little bit.
Well, back to historical, to Shinsengumi. why I love it so much is that they reference the real story of Shinsengumi a lot. They don't really follow the real story, but they usually make fun of it, but still, nonetheless, it's still, like, you feel like it's those real Shinsengumi, you know? Like, it's really hard to explain unless you know a lot about them, about Shinsengumi from real life. And they changed a couple of names a little bit. For example, Kondo Isami is actually Kondo Isao. But holy crap, what was the mangaka's name?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
Gintama?
mangaka of Gintama.
Gintama.
You just called it Gintama. Oh god.
Yeah, it was like Gintama. I'm
No,
like,
I
what the
didn't.
fuck?
I did not. I said Gintama.
No, I heard that.
Gintama.
Hibbington is the new host
see.
of the podcast. Hunter, you're out.
Here's a show that I haven't watched, but if someone here has watched, maybe you could help me sell me on the show.
What is it?
And it's Kingdom. Could anyone sell Kingdom
I've
to me?
heard a lot about Kingdom, but I haven't actually watched it. Like, I know someone that is my friend, like, somewhat, but I've also heard things about, like, one of the seasons is really bad and then, like, another season is good. So I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
because the thing about, because we always see all these Warring State era Japan, but we don't really see Romance of the Three Kingdoms in China anime, and Kingdom would be that void for me. But the problem is it's like the first season I think is like 50 episodes, and the second season is like 40, so it's like 90 episodes. So it's like it's kind of hard for me to
38.
wanna jump.
Yeah, you
Okay,
are incorrect. It's 38.
Okay, 38.
And,
38, 39.
yep, 38, 39.
38, 39. So there's about
it's
about
the
80
second
episodes
season.
of it.
Yeah, the second season's even rated higher than the first one. I think that's probably
That's
just
like
because
that's
the
with
lack
most
of fans.
shows. But that's with most
Yeah,
shows.
I think just
mean,
the lack of fans.
because the first season always has those people that drop it within like the first 3 episodes, and they have a high drop rate.
Yeah.
Like
Then those
American.
people that didn't like it, they don't tend to pick up the second season because they dropped the damn show. So
then the popular or the fans of the show start just
yeah. So
Give me
there's
10.
always a jump between it. I mean, I am an admin of the MLA scoring progression, so I watch these scores, how scores go up and down all the time.
I know I didn't really go into detail on this, but, like, has anyone other than me seen Katana Gatari?
I watched an episode. It's I'm
Yeah.
going to pick it up, but
It's kind of
again, I
weird
got
because
spoiled
it
at the
has,
end.
like, those hour-long episodes, which, if you really want to call it, like, a two-core, you can, because it's pretty much 24 episode of a regular series.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's I like it a lot. I like the animation.
And it is
I like-
not
and I
to
like
be
the
confused
action
with the Monogatari series.
Oh please don't. Oh my gosh, if someone ever does that, I'm just gonna smack them.
Well,
across
it's the
face.
same author, and it has Monogatari in it, so maybe they might, so I don't know.
Oh, you know what, Hunter? Too bad you didn't watch that
What's
movie I
that?
told you to watch, because we could have talked about that together.
Oh, the zombie one. The zombie one. Okay, you, Vestige, you take this. You take this.
I don't
want you
know what
talk
to say
'cause
about it.
you-
What's it called?
It's called The Empire of Corpses.
Okay.
Oh,
Also known as
The Empire
that's
of
the
Corpses.
freaking Project Ito, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
I hate zombies, so I'm gonna stay out of this.
Oh, they weren't really zombies. They sort of were.
So they were ghouls, or are they ghouls?
They're like low-functioning, highly autistic cripples.
Highly autistic cripples.
That's
Okay.
offensive.
Oh,
Is
That's
it
a-
still a virus, or like?
It's not-
No,
it
I
sort of
think
is.
they were like without soul. So they were living creatures, but without any soul. That's why they were kind of like zombies.
I
yeah,
see.
and then you give them a soul.
But did they turn everyone else into those type of creatures?
No,
They were
no,
just
it's
killing
not
people
infection
now.
like that.
It's not infection. Then it's not zombies. It's not zombies.
They
It has to be infectious, right?
they're zombies in a way of that they have no mind, like they have no soul, so they can move and attack, and that's all
Actually,
they can do.
To be fair, the main plot
Well,
of the
I mean,
story, the antagonist
Is there a
is
difference
trying
between
to-
a zombie and a husk? Are they just husks? They could be husks.
They are pretty much husks, but
Yeah,
they can be
yeah.
commanded. And the antagonist of the story is trying to command them to sort of make it infectious. I think his ideal was to change everybody on Earth so that everybody is the same and there's no issues.
He also needed souls from people to do something. That is a spoiler.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that series, but I was
It's just
thinking
a
of
movie.
watching it at some point.
It's a movie, and it's
Well, like it's a movie
completely forgot about
series.
it
There's
for a
like
while.
3 different ones by 3 different studios. So
I didn't know
I
that.
think
Nah,
the main one is the most recent.
yeah, the main one is the most recent.
what's the name of it? I know there's like Egoist and all
Shisha
the
no
music for it
Teikaku.
and stuff. So
This has been the first Anime Alliance podcast of historical anime, the end of the month podcast that we usually do. We'll be uploading regularly, and we will all see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.